In this video, we're going to learn how elements work and what character references are in HTML. So let's just focus on just the essentials of what makes up an HTML file. So I have my browser Chrome open and I have opened up structure.html file, and over here you can see hello world written as well. Now this is pretty simple, but you must know that this is the rendered version of a document that looks like this. Okay, now let's do an autopsy of what's going on here. First thing first, the document starts with a document type element or doc type. In this case, the HTML5 doc type. This mainly serves to get the browser to render the HTML in what is called standards mode, so it will work correctly. Now this particular tag lets you know what version of HTML to validate your code against. Now we're going to be looking at it in detail later on as to why we need declaration in the first place. Next, you can see the opening tag of the HTML element right here. Now this is a wrapper around the entire document. Okay, as you can see, there is a starting tag and there is a closing tag. Now the closing HTML tag, which is no different than the opening tag, except there is a backslash in front of the name of the tag. Now this is the last thing in any HTML document that you can see. The HTML element should always have or should always contain a language attribute. Most developers, they don't use language attribute, but it's always a good practice to use it. Now, this language attribute specifies the primary language you're going to use for the page. For example, EN stands for English and FR stands for French. So it's up to you what you prefer. Now, inside the HTML element, there is the head element. Now, this is a wrapper that contains other information about the document, such as the internal or external styles and scripts. Now, of course, you can't see them right now because we're just going to look into it in detail later on. But right now, we just focus on what we can do with the head at the moment. Now, head includes the element title, which you can see right here. Now, this defines the heading in the browser's title bar, which you can see right here. This is the title of the page, which is declared in the code inside the title tag. Now, the head element should always contain a meta element with a character set attribute that identifies the character encoding of the page. Now, there are a lot of encoding options, but you should always use UTF-8 whenever possible. Now, after the head element, there is a body element, which is the wrapper around the actual or the original content, the one that is visible to the user's screen. In this case, a level 1 heading, H1 heading, which contains the text hello world. And you can see it in the browser as well, that this is the only part that is visible to the user. And that's our HTML document in full. Now, we're going to be looking at all the things in detail in the coming up videos. So stay tuned.